Today we've returned to Blade Ball, talk a little bit about everything that has happened over the last 24 hours, as well as share some tips and tricks to all of the brand new players that have joined the game. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because the game has doubled in size over the last 24 hours. And with that, a lot of you are brand new here on the channel as well, and I appreciate that. Welcome. But right now, we're going to go over all of these tips and tricks. We're going to kind of rapid fire through all of them because there is a couple of things that I know some of you are going to feel like is really obvious. But there's other things that I definitely want to share with you because I get messages about it all the time now. So let's go ahead now and get into the very first thing, which is as soon as you jump into any brand new server of Blade Ball, the very first thing that you want to do before you even think about jumping into the arena and fighting anybody is take a look over here on the top left-hand corner where it says info. If you click on this, you'll notice that two things pop up: the version as well as the location of the server that you are in. Now, the version is important because obviously you want to stay in the most up-to-date server so that way you have, well, basically any bug fixes that have been made or anything like that, you now have access to them. But really the most important thing is the location of that server. Personally, I live on the East Coast, so any servers that are in Florida or in Texas are usually the absolute best for me. And then you get into the ones that are like in California, which it is very noticeable that my ping is slightly higher. Now, the reason why this is important is because a lot of you were having the same issue that I was having the other day, and by the other day I mean quite literally yesterday, where it kind of seemed like the claws and the scythe were completely different, and the scythe as well as the thorn were given some type of a delay. Turns out that's not the case. I actually have done a lot of testing over the last 24 hours, and while they do have their differences obviously visually because it is kind of a completely different animation, both the claw and the scythe are exactly the same. Now, aside from your weapon itself, also how the ball travels around is going to be affected by your ping. So definitely one of the first things that you want to take a look at. The next one after that would likely be how many players are playing. Keep in mind that there's a difference between how many are playing and how many are in your server. This is really only something that you have to worry about if you're farming for money. Aside from that, it doesn't really matter how many players are inside. This is just only going to affect how much money you're making. But like I mentioned before, the max that need to be inside of playing, I believe, is 12, and that gives you 60 coins. Now, daily spin wheel over here, for those of you that already have Crescendo as well as the Rapture ability like myself, this is something that I wanted to point out just in case if it matters to any of you, but spins do stack, so you do not have to use them. Those daily spins, keep racking them up. Maybe at some point they're going to change these. I don't know if they will, but I mean, hey, at least it's better safe than sorry. If they do end up dropping something here and some of us have 40 or 50 spins, that would be great. All right, so now that we got all that boring stuff out of the way, we went ahead and jumped into a server. This one is in Oregon for me, so a little bit further away, but I should be fine. I think to play it safe, I'm gonna go with claws here. I was playing with the Cyber Scythe for a couple of hours, and honestly, I was feeling it the exact same, but just for the sake of my head, I'm going to go with claws inside of a server that's not like Texas or Florida. Then if we take a look over here, playing, there is 12, which means that we are at the max multiplier, even though I really don't care about money. But let's get into the first kind of like combat tip that I'm going to share with you guys, and that is the advantages and disadvantages of playing in shift lock or not shift lock. So some of you may or may not be aware of this, but you have the option of obviously playing in non-shift lock, which means that I move the camera with my right mouse and I walk around with WASD. If you are playing in this, that means that you either have to go ahead and click your mouse in order to block, assuming you have this setting up here turned on. If this is turned on, then that means that when you click on your mouse, it will go ahead and block instead of you having to press F all the time. Now, if you do not have this setting turned on, then the left click will not work. And the only way that it will work is if you are physically clicking down here. Shift lock, on the other hand, you do not have to hold down the right click to move your camera. You can freely move it around. And at this point to block, you can press left click regardless if you have that setting turned on or not. Let's try and get this guy. Ah, we got him. Now, I guess that would have been a perfect moment for me to also move into the next thing, which is I know something really obvious to a lot of people that are probably watching my video, but when the ball is red, it means it is coming towards you. So that is definitely something that you want to keep in mind. Also, another perfect time for the next thing. But if you notice, when I hit the ball towards people, it kind of gives them like a white outline. This white outline means that that is the next target that the ball is going to be attacking. Again, I know that there's some people that are watching this right now who are probably like, dude, there's no way Carbon is explaining these obvious things. But honestly, you'd be surprised. Now, another thing that you may have noticed, which actually wasn't something that was obvious to me in probably like the first 2 or 3 videos that I made on this game, but whatever direction you are facing, as soon as you hit the ball, that is where it's going to be going. So it'll kind of choose someone in that area of where you're looking. And okay, well, now I guess we're in a 1v1 situation, right? Oh, no, we're not. Now we're in a 1v1 situation. It's so funny because I also just showed you guys right there something that I wanted to show you before. Oh, okay. He really got up close and personal. But yes, not to fall off of the entire track that I was kind of explaining here, but face the direction that you want the ball to go, the ball will 100% go that direction. And this would also be a perfect time to go ahead and transition over to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is curve balls. This is something that a lot of people are confused on right now and don't really understand, or they try to do it thinking that they're doing it and it's not really working out for them. But yes, if you aren't aware, especially in a 1v1 situation, assuming there is no other players around, it is extremely easy to go ahead and do curveballs. I'm actually going to do one here, but I can't because in order for me to do it, I need to look to a certain direction. And since there's other players, all it's doing is sending it over to them. But basically what you saw me do there is what you have to do. You look to the opposite direction and then you hit the ball. This is going to cause the ball to curve in whatever direction you are looking. And for a lot of different reasons, this is extremely good. For one, it changes kind of the amount of time that it takes for the ball to travel. So if the person kind of pre-clicks or anything like that, you may just outsmart them. This guy's going to want a 1v1 again. So let's give him a 1v1 then. And we are back into a standoff for the second time. Now this player has a super jump. So this is going to be, okay, never mind. I thought they were going to use a super jump. I feel like the best option there would have been to use super jump against me because I would have definitely 100% lost there. But yeah, hopefully at some point here, I'm able to show you a curveball. But in the meantime, let's go ahead now and talk about what's kind of been happening there at the very end for both of the games that we just won. One of the major situations that a lot of people are having right now is the 1v1 standoffs that get close quarters. A lot of people just can only click so fast, and I completely understand that. So I guess I will go ahead and tell you guys what most of the top players are doing, which again, don't get this confused because there is a lot of top players that are using a completely different method, which I will talk about in just a second. But basically what I'm talking about is spam clicking as well as pressing F at the same exact time. If you do these two actions at the same exact time, it makes it a lot faster and a lot easier for you. A lot of players are doing this right now, but there is also, like I mentioned before, a lot of brand new players that are not aware that this exists. And we are back to another 1v1. This guy has the new phase ability, so if he uses that on me, oh boy. This is not going to end well. But we got the W again. That was definitely a good fight. Either way, as I was saying before, the second method that a lot of the top players are using, which obviously this is a controversial one and you can use it if you want to. If you choose not to use it, that is also perfectly fine. But yes, I am talking about the auto clickers. Now, I was going to actually show you guys what it said about the auto clickers in the Discord server, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and allow you guys to join the Discord if you want, so you can go ahead and read up everything that they said. Now, again, auto clicker is something that you can choose to use if you want to, but it isn't something that you really need. I guess this would be a good time to let you guys let me know in the comments what you think about auto clickers. But yeah, guys, overall, some fairly basic stuff here. I just really wanted to explain this because, again, we've seen the whole entire population of the game quite literally double in size overnight. And to be honest, non-pro lobbies have been kind of funny lately. A lot of people have been using Super Jump, which is funny to me because I never actually purchased Super Jump when I first started. But yeah, it seems to be something very popular amongst all of the new players right now. But it's just hilarious because they hit it super early and then usually they either get taken out by it or if not, they just end up landing back on the ground by the time that they're hitting the ball again. And aside from that, you're also having people, as soon as they join in, game starts, chooses the first target, and then boom, they die. That'll happen like back to back, and it's kind of funny. Either way, I hope this helped you out. If it did, make sure to drop a like on it. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all the support, especially to all of the brand new subs. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. But that's gonna do it for this video, man. Like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.